What's the dumbest rule you've ever been caught breaking? I got suspended from my college job for feeding a stray cat, and it turned into the biggest campus drama of the semester. I worked security at the main library, basically just checking student IDs and doing lockup rounds at midnight. Easy job, decent pay for a broke college kid. During my nightly walks around the building, I kept noticing this skinny orange tabby hanging around the dumpsters behind the science wing. The poor thing was clearly starving. You could see his ribs through his matted fur, and he had these desperate green eyes that just broke my heart. So I started bringing leftover food from my dinner. Nothing fancy, just bits of sandwich meat or leftover pizza crusts. At first, he'd bolt the second he saw me coming, but after a few weeks of consistent feeding, he started waiting by the back door around 11:30 every night. I'd toss him some turkey or ham and he'd devour it like he hadn't eaten in days. Eventually, he let me get close enough to pet him. This cat was clearly someone's lost pet, not some feral animal. He had a distinct collar tan line around his neck and actually knew his name. I started calling him Dewey after the library classification system, and he'd respond when I called. I even set up a makeshift litter box behind the loading dock, and he used it immediately. I was getting attached, started buying proper cat food with my own money, even brought a little blanket for the cardboard box where he slept. Some nights I'd sit with him for 20 minutes after my shift, just giving this lonely cat some affection. Then disaster struck. My supervisor, Rebecca, this uptight woman who treated every minor policy like federal law, decided to do a surprise inspection during my Thursday night shift. She caught me red-handed with a handful of chicken strips, crouched down talking to Dewey like he was my best friend. "What exactly do you think you're doing?" she snapped, standing there with her arms crossed like she'd caught me stealing equipment. I explained the whole situation, how I'd found this obviously lost cat, how he was clearly domesticated, how I was just trying to keep him alive until someone found him. She cut me off mid-sentence. Apparently there's some ancient campus policy buried in the employee handbook about feeding wildlife on university property. Something about attracting rodents, creating liability issues, and disrupting the campus ecosystem. I tried arguing that Dewey wasn't wildlife, but Rebecca wasn't having it. "Rules are rules," she said coldly. "This is a serious violation of campus safety protocols. 3-day suspension without pay for feeding a hungry cat with my own food and my own money." I had to watch her shoo poor Dewey away while she wrote up my incident report. The cat looked so confused and scared, probably wondering why his only friend was abandoning him. I spent my suspension days worried sick about Dewey, driving by campus just to check if he was okay. On the second day, I saw campus maintenance setting up humane traps around the area. Rebecca had apparently reported a stray animal problem that needed immediate resolution. But here's where the story gets good. On my third suspension day, I got a frantic call from my coworker Mike. A professor from the veterinary science department had been wandering around campus with missing cat flyers, asking everyone if they'd seen an orange tabby named Mango. Turns out Dewey was actually Mango, and he'd been missing for 2 months. His owner, Dr. Sarah Martinez, had been searching desperately after he escaped during a routine vet visit. She'd posted on every social media group, put up hundreds of flyers, even hired a pet detective. When Mike told her about my suspension and showed her where I'd been feeding Dewey, she was furious, not at me, at the administration. She marched straight to the dean's office that afternoon. Plot twist, Dr. Martinez sits on the university's board of trustees and chairs the campus animal welfare committee. She's also married to the guy who heads the legal department. The dean called me personally to apologize and asked me to return to work immediately. Not only did I get my job back with full back pay, but Rebecca had to attend compassion and community engagement training. The university also officially changed their animal policy to allow feeding lost pets while attempting to locate owners. Dr. Martinez brought Mango, who I still think of as Dewey, to visit me at work the following week. He was cleaned up, healthy, and clearly happy to be home, but he still remembered me, purred like crazy when I scratched behind his ears. Best part? Dr. Martinez offered me a paid internship at the vet clinic. Apparently she was impressed by my dedication to animal welfare in the face of bureaucratic obstacles.